The WAAY-31 I-Team learned more about a deadly crash investigators say was caused by an off-duty Madison Police officer. More than 3 months after the crash killed 92-year-old Phyllis Pine, we know one agency's investigation is still ongoing and others haven't even started. The WAAY-31 I-Team discovered the officer is still at home recovering from his injuries. The initial crash report shows the Madison police officer, whose name has not been released, was trying to avoid rear-ending 2 cars that were either stopped or moving slow on Wall Triana. We learned the officer swerved into oncoming traffic and hit a car head-on. WAAY-31's Sydney Martin took the community's questions to investigators to find out if and when charges could be filed.
Some family and friends of 92-year-old Phyllis Pine are growing restless. 3 months after her death, and a report blaming the crash on an off-duty Madison police officer. And Huntsville Police told the WAAY-31 I-Team investigators need more time. Investigators say they're waiting on a report from the Department of Forensic Science, a department the state repeatedly cited for lengthy delays and backups. It means the case is still weeks away from reaching the Madison County District Attorney's Office. Madison Police Chief Dave Jernigan won't go on camera, but told me his department's internal investigation into the crash won't start until the officer, whose name nobody will give out, is back on duty. Just like the DA's office, he's also waiting on a final report from Huntsville Police. Even though the initial crash report blames the off-duty officer, we're still working to learn if he was speeding or using a cell phone when the wreck happened. Assistant District Attorney Shauna Barnett vowed the officer won't get any special treatment.
We're going to handle it just like every other case. We're going to look at it, as if it didn't include a police officer, just like we normally would.
Barnett handles the majority of the traffic homicide cases and said not all crashes involving a death are criminal.
The whole civil side of the justice system, that's what deals with the money damages and the loss of life, the loss of income, all that type of thing. So some of them just don't meet the threshold for criminal charges.
Barnett explained they take circumstances surrounding the crash into consideration when deciding if a driver should face criminal charges.
99.8% of wrecks of any kind are caused by operator error on somebody's part. Somebody's following too close, somebody's not yielding the right of way, somebody's speeding, and there's a difference between speeding 5, 10, 15 miles an hour over and 50 miles an hour over, some egregious speed.
Prosecutors won't get the case until they know that information. We checked court records and no civil lawsuit has been filed either against the city of Madison or the Madison Police Department after the wreck that killed Phyllis Pine here at this intersection. In Huntsville, Sydney Martin, WAAY-31 News.
The Madison County Commission is working with the Alabama Department of Transportation on improvements along the road in that area. Plans include widening the shoulder and adding a dedicated turn lane for southbound drivers who want to turn left onto McCrary Road. The commission set a start date on that project has yet to be determined.